Hey, what's up, guys? We're going to start off today's episode with the fantasy football topic of the day, and that is Darnell Mooney an every week starter moving forward in fantasy, and is it time to panic about Dalton Kincaid's lack of production? So let's start off talking about Darnell Mooney, who's coming off of two back-to-back 20-point weeks. Now, this week he's played against the Saints, who have been struggling on defense. He's coming off back-to-back 20-point games. Drake London did get banged up last week, so it opened things up for Darnell Mooney to have another big outing. And there's a possibility that Drake London is out this Sunday. Not likely, but a possibility. So on the one hand, if Drake London is out, it's just going to open things up, even more targets for Darnell Mooney. Me personally, I'm firing up Darnell Mooney in my lineup. If he's been on your bench, it's time to get him off the bench. He has earned the right to be in your lineup. It's Darnell Mooney time. It's time to get him going, guys. If he's been on your bench, get him off the bench. This guy has great chemistry with Kirk Cousins. He's been showing good rapport with him all year. It's time to get him in there. Now, on to Dalton Kincaid, fantasy owners like myself. I know that Dalton Kincaid has not been producing the way we expected for the hype coming into the season. If you're like me, you drafted him in the 5th round, and you thought this was going to be a Dalton Kincaid breakout year with him being one of the few guys catching balls from Joshallen last year. It's a lot of new face in the offense, and he just has not lived up to the hype that he was supposed to be, right? But on the plus side, he's coming off a 10-target game against Miami. That's been his highest target share of the year so far. He also led the team in targets. I think the next most targets was Khalil Shakir, who had 7 targets. So he's coming off his most targets in a game, a 10-target game. Nobody else had that many targets on the team. Keon Coleman also probably isn't going to be playing this Sunday, so it should even open up more opportunities for Dalton Kincaid. And to top it off, he's playing against the Colts this Sunday, who will allow the 6th most yards in the league to tight ends and the 3rd most fantasy points per game to tight ends. So this is a good opportunity for Dalton Kincaid. I'm definitely firing him up. I think you can fire him up with confidence. And if it's another underwhelming performance, it may be time to consider other options for fantasy owners, if there even is other options, because it's really slim pickings out there in the waiver wire for tight ends. So a lot of you might not have any other options, but this is one of those games where Dalton Kincaid should definitely have a good game. If he doesn't, maybe time to officially panic on Dalton Kincaid. So fingers crossed. Now, on to the Bills-Dolphins recap of Sunday. So the Bills are coming off a very close game against the Dolphins, where Bills were able to pull off the win with a final second 61-yard field goal by Bass, who was having a rough game after missing an extra point after a Matt Collins touchdown. And just when we all were just about as sick of Tyler Bass as we could possibly be, and in a place where we were all just like, get this guy off our team, after he missed another extra point. He has done this a couple times this year. He's been missing some field goals in big moments. And then just in that moment, he comes up with a huge field goal.
And totally redeem yourself!
And saves the day. So, love to see him come through on the clutch like that after the rough season he's been having. But honestly, the truth is the game should have never been that close to begin with. And reason being, for starters, the refs made some really bad calls, starting with the Deion Dawkins holding call right here, which we can all agree is clearly a chop block. This is nothing more than an advanced technique by Dawkins, where he used the defender's own momentum to face plant him into the ground. The refs see a guy in their face and they automatically think it's a hold. It's not a hold. This was just an absolutely ridiculous call, and I am really, really hoping that the NFL front office came down on this ref this week and hopefully taught him the difference between a hold and a chop block. Then it was followed by another very ticky-tacky holding call on Osiris Torrance when Joshallen ran in a touchdown that got taken away from another call that just shouldn't have happened. Look at this replay right here. Torrance's hands remain inside his opponent's shoulders. This hold is not at all evident. So that was 7 points that we lost right there, right? Then, let's not forget, in the beginning of the game, after a great drive by Josh Allen, Keon Coleman bobbles a catch, and it goes into Jalen Ramsey's hand for interception, which should have been a walk-in touchdown by Keon Coleman. Hit him right in the hands. There was no reason for him not to catch that. So that's 14 points Bills should have had to keep this game from ever coming down to a last-second field goal to begin with. But luckily, even though Keon had a rough day, our other rookie, Raydavis, had a great catch-and-run 67-yard touchdown. This was great. This guy just keeps making plays for us week after week, showing us what a great draft pick this guy was. He's making the most out of his carries. He might not get a lot of opportunities, but when he does, he shows up. Guy just keeps looking better and better for us. But it was really surprising with Keon coming off back-to-back really good games for us. He felt like he was really finally finding his footing in the NFL. It was really surprising to see him struggle like this. He had been developing a rapport with Joshallen where he was becoming one of our most solid receivers, and he was becoming a very reliable option for Joshallen on a weekly basis. So you hate to see him take a step back like this, but this is going to happen. This is growing pains in the NFL for a rookie wide receiver. And you can just hope that he gets better and better and these mistakes stop happening and he just becomes a consistent player on a week in and week out basis. And to make matters worse, he did pick up a wrist injury during that game that could have him sidelined for a few weeks. He didn't practice today and he hasn't practiced all week, but luckily Amari Cooper, who was sidelined last week, looks like he should be on track to play Sunday after getting a limited practice today. Got a limited practice yesterday as well. And then Christian Benford, who didn't play last week, got a full practice in today and yesterday, which is huge for us. And Dorian Williams practiced in full today as well, who got a little banged up last game with a knee injury, while he managed to hit 84 tackles on the year on Sunday. So that puts the second-year linebacker at number 5 for the 5th most tackles in the league for linebackers. So he's been really filling in nicely for Milano. You love to see a second-year guy step up like that and really fill in those big shoes that Milano left. So now the Bills go on the road this Sunday to play the Colts, looking to bring our record 8-2 in the season, and I'm feeling very confident in this game, guys. So let's go out and get this dub. Let's go 8-2. But that's all I got for you guys this week. I'll see you next week. Go Bills.